Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Huddy. We got 3 tips for home buying, so let's get after it. Tip number 1, we want to get you pre-qualified a lot sooner rather than later. The reason for that, and what I've seen happen over and over and over again, is you get that fever to go out and buy the house. Usually it's in the spring and summertime. So you're on the interwebs and you're looking at homes and you're thinking, wow, that's great. You even play with the mortgage calculator, which usually gives you not realistic numbers. And you think, wow, I could afford that house. So then you go look at it and wow, I really love this house. So now you want to buy it. So you're calling your loan officer that you got referred to, hopefully, and you call them at 7:30 at night, or her, and they got kids pulling at their legs. They got TVs in the background. They're not prepared, and you're trying to push through this application as soon as possible because you're worried the house is going to get sold in the next 2 days, which does happen, especially here in Minnesota. So you're doing this application. Your loan officer is trying to hustle for you, trying to get it done, but he or she is distracted. Maybe some mistakes are made. So you're really trying to put that square peg in the round hole, and it can really start you off on the wrong foot. So I don't care if it's 6 months or a year, there's never really a bad time to start the process of getting pre-qualified, even if it's just talking to lenders about what programs that they have and who they are as a person, how they're structured. Are they an individual LO, loan officer, or do they have a team? So there's a lot of good things that come from getting pre-qualified sooner. The other thing that people tend to worry about, from my experience, is they're worried about their credit being pulled and losing a lot of points from an inquiry. Well, there's a lot of bad information out there about credit, especially when it comes to inquiries, because most people have Credit Karma or they're watching something through one of their credit cards. And 90% of the time, they're not looking at a FICO credit score. They're looking at something like Credit Karma, Vantage 3.0. We have to realize that we exist in the world of FICO when it comes to lending. So when you have a credit inquiry with FICO, especially for a mortgage, which is considered a good debt, it's really only going to ding you 1 to 2 points. So it's not a big deal. And our credit reports are good for 120 days. So you got 4 months before you have to pull another one. The other thing that getting pre-qualified early will do, it gives the loan officer an opportunity to collect your tax returns, your W-2s, your pay stubs, your bank statements, all the necessary items to give you a good pre-qualification. And with things not being rushed, like what I do for a lot of my clients, is I send you into underwriting and get you pre-underwritten. So that means an underwriter has already looked at your information, and it can be a lot stronger offer knowing that you've already been conditionally approved rather than pre-approved. So there are a lot of good benefits to getting pre-qualified. We're still on tip number 1, I know. But now that you're pre-qualified, now you have the amount. It might be what you were thinking, it might be higher, it might be lower. I've had all those scenarios come over the desk over the years, and it is eye-opening to really understand, okay, you're qualified for $300,000. What does that payment look like? And are you comfortable with that? So let's say it is. You for sure want to buy in town A. You've had your heart set on town A. Well, now that you have time, you can research properties that are at that $300,000 to see what $300,000 gets you in town A. It might not be much. It might be more than you thought, but it gives you an opportunity to take a look. And now you can even open your eyes a little bit more and maybe look at different cities, different towns, different areas that have good school districts. Maybe you can buy a bigger house for that $300,000 if you move over to town B or city C. You never know. That's why you want to get pre-qualified early, so you know these things and you can go out and research things. Tip number 3, your real estate agent. 80% of people work with the first agent that they talk to, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what I've experienced over the years is that when I'm working with a borrower or a client, all of a sudden I'll get a call from a different real estate agent that is now working with this buyer, because it was either communication or whatever the reason was. My client decided they were going to fire agent A and get agent B. It's not a huge deal, but it does kind of suck because you've been building a relationship with this first agent and now you got to get to know this other agent. So you want to go out and talk to a few different agents. See if they're familiar with the areas that you want to live in, understand what they're about, and know that they have your best interest in mind. You want to find the rock star, right? So a good way to do that is ask your family, ask your friends. You can even ask your loan officer. I have great relationships with a lot of really good agents, and I kind of know how to match people up with personalities. So that's an option too. You could even put it on Facebook that if you own a home, would you recommend your agent? Did you love your agent and would you recommend them? You'll get plenty of comments on that, trust me. So when we're talking about this, again, just to review real quick, getting pre-qualified early, sooner rather than later. Researching the areas that you think you want to live in and what does that amount you've been approved for, what does that really get you? And then 3, researching agents and getting to know a few of them. So that's what we got for today's video. If you could give me a like on the little button down below. Also, leave me a comment down below on what video you want to see next. The last thing I got is a link to my website. If you're looking to get pre-qualified and you'd love to give me a chance, I sure would appreciate it and I'd love working with you. I hope I hear from you soon.